Hello, everyone. So, today we're going to talk about the new play we're going to discuss called Space Time Machine. It was written and directed by me. Maybe some of you saw it when we performed it with some of our department students 2 years ago. So, I post the text for you. Let me share my screen first. And I also shared a link to the video of the performance. It was posted on the official department's page, English Department, Philadelphia University. I think most of you are added to this page. You can open the link even if you're not, if you haven't liked the page, you can open the link, I guess, no problem. Okay, so if we start with the name itself, space-time machine. Here. So the title itself, of course, time machines, that they are, of course, fictional machines, not real ones. We see them in science fiction stories and movies. They enable one to travel in time to the past, sometimes the future. So this is the idea. A student from Philadelphia University, of course, uh, uses a time machine. It's called space time. And to make it funnier, and space time in physics, also following the relativity theory by Einstein, because time and space are interconnected. Anyways, so this student has a grandpa who's a scientist, and he invents time machine that can, of course, travel in time. So she decides to travel to different historical ages and places, of course, and see how the education system was or will be, because she travels to the future also. So this is about the education system. How was it in the past? How is it going to be in the future? So the play is divided into scenes, as you can see. It's a short one. I guess, how long was the performance? Maybe 15 minutes. Okay. So it's divided into scenes, as you can see. Seven, nine scenes. And you have different characters. So first, let's look at the non-literary elements, which are the technical elements. I'm sure you still remember. And the performative elements. We'll see the performative elements in the video, but here's some technical elements. Of course, anything besides the dialogue is usually written in italics, italicized fonts. So here we have the stage instructions, description of the scene. For example, scene one is a class in Philadelphia University. We have Noor and her friend are talking, two students. Here, for example, the house's basement, an old man who looks like he's working on a strange machine. And then we hear the sound of the machine, technical elements, and he uses like some tools. Remember, we call them props. We'll see them in the video. Then we have space bus station, etc. So different elements. So pay attention to them while watching the video and reading the script itself. So I prefer that you, or I suggest that you read the script first, then watch the video. It's a very short one, like 5 pages. So the theme of this play or the idea behind it is to comment on the education system. How has it evolved? How will it change in the future? And through this, to comment on the problems we have in the education system. Let's watch the video or part of it.
Hey, how are your classes? Not bad. I enjoy my time. Which one did you enjoy the most? I'm the last step. I know how you feel, but I really wonder why there are some like classes that are boring and some are fun. That's a good question. Yeah. But I don't see how we're saying it. No, why should we? I think the university wants us to be active. Oh, I'm not excited. Fine. Oh, stop it. Oh, really? That's fun. He's really good. He's working on a new invention, actually. Yeah, I'm going to see him when I get back home. Yeah, I'll make sure of that. I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, so this was scene one. Maybe the voice wasn't perfect. But if we go back to the script, so can you guess the genre of this play? And is it a tragedy, comedy, or both? Does it have some comic elements? Of course, yes. If we look at the first scene, the dialogue between these two students. How were your classes today? Not bad. I enjoyed my time. Which one did you like most? The one I skipped. So this is like a joke, makes the play funnier. So in like modern plays or the plays we see now or we write now, there's combination of both elements. So the comedy tragedy thing is no longer active, is no longer followed. So there is no strict separation between comedy and tragedy. There is like combination of both in modern theater. So here the topic is serious. In terms of characters, you can have different kinds of characters, of course. Unlike if you remember the rules of tragedy, the hero must be royal, prince or king, etc. But in modern theater, contemporary theater, these rules are no longer followed. So you see, Noor, here the main, played by Galina, of course, is the main character here. She says, I wonder why some classes are fun and others are boring. That's the main point in the play. Her desire to explore this topic. Why she finds some classes interesting and others boring. So now she mentions her grandfather. We'll meet him in the next scene.
Hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Ouch. What are you doing, my dad?
You live in our garage.
That's a good thing.
What are you working on?
Space.
You mean a time machine?
No, a space time machine. Here you can choose the time when you want to go out of space.
Interesting. Can I try it? Come on, so please. I'll pay you. How about that?
How much do you want to pay?
Well, it depends on the quality of your machine and, my father, your son, financial situation.
You know how many years I spent working on this machine?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. So I want you to use it. I'd like to try it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, go ahead. What do you want?
Philadelphia University, 3019.
So, as you notice, the first time she chose, of course, she discovered that her grandpa has a machine, a time machine, and she wants to use it, try it. First, she wants to travel to the future.
Um, excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me. Where's the bus?
Where are you going?
I'm going to Philadelphia University.
Yeah, I know. You want to Venus, Mars, Jupiter?
The Faculty of Arts.
Yeah, this one, no one don't know. Well, I guess you have to pay the space machine. Well, let's get it lit. I have to go by myself.
Body?
What are you doing?
The Philadelphia University Faculty of Arts.
Yeah, it's not on my way.
Even in the future, taxi drivers are still the same. How much time will it take there?
It's just sun there. Go with the pocket.
Oh, oh, come on. And the dog?
Oh, God.
Okay. So, I hope you found that funny, that scene. So, as you noticed, that was in the future, a new transportation means. And she asked about the location for Philadelphia University, but now different faculties are on different planets in the space. Now we'll hear the dialogue between two futures in the future, two students in the future, and notice how the education system is imagined or how has it changed.
Well, I've been here for 4 hours, so I'm a senior. I'm going to graduate pretty soon. Oh, congratulations. Thank you. It's not good school here. Yeah, because 4 hours, what was the time? It is. It should be 1 hour. Yeah. Well, listen, imagine graduation. Well, me and the guys are going to Galaxy World, and then they're going to go skydiving. So for the two teams, I'll probably have okay, how fun anyway. Thank you so much. What do you think about it? Well, I'll probably be a translator for aliens. That's fine. Oh, time's up. I have graduated after 4 full hours of study. Wow, studying the future sounds really easy and it takes no time. But it has become much knowledge for art. I want to go back to the oldest age of literature, which is what? What is the oldest age of literature? Can the students of Dr. Nadi and Dr. Ali tell me? Well, Dr. Muhammad Yusuf did not want to mention his name because he wanted to sound humble. I can't believe that. Let's go.
Okay, so she decides to go to now to the past, classical age. But let's look at the script once again. This dialogue between the two students. How long have you been here? Almost 1 hour. So you finished your first year. So now a year takes only 1 hour. Yes, what about you? I have been here for almost 4 years. I'm graduating soon. Congratulations. Study takes too long. 4 hours. So you see, in the future, 4 hours are a very, very long period of time. So where are you celebrating your graduation, etc. Now, when they discuss the future, I'm thinking of working as a translator for aliens. Okay, so this is an imaginary scenario of education in the future. Uh, we can finish our education in hours, but would that be better than the present? Nobody knows. And if you saw the university president is now like a robot, the one who enters and gave the students their certificate, graduation certificates. But let's see the past now. When she travels to ancient times, how was education at that time? Was it better than the present day or the imagined future?
Think so. Are starting.
This chair is a carpet. It's an iron form. When you paint it to write a poem about it, you make a copy as a copy. But the copy might be more beautiful than the original. It might even provoke your emotions. Emotions, love, not just that, dark jokes, my dear. In this world, only logic and philosophy count. You know, emotions are important for well-being. Yeah, sure. That's why we watch tragedies. That focus on these negative emotions. Of course.
This sounds too logical and too theoretical. Let me try something different. Excuse me? Excuse me? Is it hard to write like this?
Is there another way? That would have been the most effective civilization on earth.
But how can you correct yourself if you ever make a mistake?
Well, that teacher never says anything more.
What's the biggest assignment one of you did?
Not the time, Jordan.
Yes?
What my final project?
Still not what I'm looking for. Let's look for something. I always loved romantic poetry. Yeah, I will get to see where it's written into.
Okay, so now she has traveled to classical age, Plato, Aristotle. I'm sure some of you are familiar with them, two philosophers, Greek philosophers, but their philosophies were a little different. Plato was so rational, ideal, and then Aristotle tried to include more emotions, and he argued for the importance of having emotions in art and in life. For Plato, only philosophy, only ideas are worthwhile, not emotions. This is why he expelled poets from his republic. Then she went further back into Mesopotamian age اللي هو بالعربي يعني بلاد ما بين النهرين in Iraq. That's like older than Greek civilization. Again, as the if you remember the here the actor said everything that the teacher says is correct. So they use inscription. You cannot change inscription. So everything that the teacher says is true. So it's inscribed, it cannot be erased or changed. Now, the Romantic Age, the main character here, Noor, will meet William Wordsworth, the famous Romantic poet. Let's see his ideology or his philosophy of education.
Oh my God. Woodward. Hi. My name is Galina. I really love your poetry. How do you define poetry?
Emotions, feelings, collected and transformed.
Nice. How did you discover your talent?
I wandered lonely as a cloud.
Okay, and your heart wakes up when you behold the rainbow in the sky. But how can one get a good education?
Enough of science and art. Let nature be your teacher. We murder and dissect. The child is father of the man.
I'm still not satisfied. Let me go back to England in the 19th century or Charles Dickens.
So, for the Romantic Age, the central thing was emotions, of course. As he said, this famous line, the child is father to the man or of the man. So, childhood is the period in which we learn most because we're closer to nature, we're more innocent, we're more intuitive. We use our intuition, not our reason. So, that's another philosophy of education.
Can you hear me? What I want is facts. Teach these boys and girls nothing but facts. Facts alone are wanted in this life. Plant nothing else and rule out everything else. Now, boy number 20. Who's boy number 20? I don't know you. Charlie is not a name. Don't call yourself Charlie. Call yourself Charles. Then he has no business to do it. Tell him he mustn't. Very well. Now, give me your definition of a horse. What is a horse? Boy number 20, unable to define a horse. What are your name? I'm not a student here. I'm just attending. Oh, sit down and be silent. Now back to you, boy number 20. Boy number 20 consists of no facts and refers to one of the commonest animals. So far as definition of a horse. Present, use.
One roof of some rain, two eyes, two nostrils, two ears, and one tail, and four legs.
Sit down. Now, boy.
Of course, here the methods of teaching are so factual. You just memorize facts. So the teacher asks the student to define a horse. She wants a very factual definition.
Number 20. You know what a horse is? Very well. Hi, I'm Galina.
So this child is supposed to represent Charles Dickens, the famous novelist, while he was a child.
I study you actually. What? What do you mean by suddenly? Never mind. What do you dream of thinking in the future?
I want to be a writer. I love writing.
And you will be a great writer. This will not fight your dreams. And talk about the school system in one of your novels. Bye. Oh, and before I forget, can you make David Copperfield a little bit more? I have to do this for novels. I guess I tried several school systems. But let me go back and try one of ours. The good Cubs. My grandfather used to tell me about them. Let's go.
So that's the old system in our country. It's called Kutab, like maybe 100 years old, something like that.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Every water around the sun. Heaven, God, okay, son. William, Shakespeare. Homer, is it true? Be a student, not a true. Run. I was looking in my class. Get out. Come on, move, shoot. Clap this.
I guess the present school system is what suits us the most because it reflects our culture and civilization. I guess we should enjoy what we have. Let me go back to the present.
So back to the present.
It was nice. I learned a lot.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, of course.
So the machine did work.
It did. Kind of.
You have a question now. Small science.
You're crazy.
That's a problem.
Okay. Well, I have.
So, would you traveling?
I think I will stay here for a while. I like the present more. I have an oral exam tomorrow. I will make it interesting. Bye, Grandad.
No.
Okay. So the last scene. Let's go back to the text. So she goes back to the present and meets or reunites with her grandfather. He asked her about the trip. How was your trip? Exciting, and I learned a lot. So you will be traveling in space and time again? No, I guess I will stay in the present and make the most of it. That's one of the messages, like intended in the play. Now, we can't travel in time, but we can learn from the past. I have an oral presentation tomorrow. I will prepare well and make it interesting. So let's focus on the present, making the most of the present, not complaining. And originally, I intended to include this song, but we didn't have time to train on the song or practice the song. So as you can see, it's a short play. It uses different elements. So I want you to read it before watching the video again and write comments about the main elements, the significant technical elements, any performative elements you noticed in the video, and then what you understood from the play. Okay. Thank you so much.